How we doing, guys? Moose here, episode 14 of our West Ham United career mode, and we get into things early on here. We did find out back what Zurich wanted for Francisco Rodriguez, the young right midfielder. They wanted $3.7 million. We started off offering him $1.4 million, and Ricardo Vaste, who did say he was interested in staying at the club, but the thing is, we just don't have a ton of options for him. He's getting up there in age. He's like 28, 29 now, and he's not going to get any better. He's only 70 overall, doesn't have a ton of potential, so I'd rather bring in a young face that's going to be on the same level of talent as him, but does have room to grow. So we don't have a ton of money available right now. I decided to go in for some young players and see if we can maybe bring one in here in the window. I went for Will Hughes, tried to offer, below his valuation, around his valuation, just to see if Derby would buy on that. We also see Adrien Rabiot from PSG. His value is 2.9, but he's almost done with his contract, so I think we could get him on the cheap. The only issue you run into with that is the fact that he's on 40 grand a week wages already, which would be a huge money to pay for a young player that's not going to get a ton of time right off the bat. So we decided then to up our bid for Rodriguez after Zurich said the first transfer was unacceptable. They wanted $2.325 million. I didn't want to go all the way that high off the bat, so I just went to 1.6. Rabiot's transfer was rejected as well, so I decided not to pursue him any further. We get a transfer in for Stuart Downing, the main player that people are going to come in for because he does lead the league in assists right now, but all the bids we got for him were so woefully low that it was tough to accept anything. We then request some money from the boards. I requested £5 million. They decided to give me just 1.2, which is a real shame. But I'll take any money I can get right now to try and do as much business as I can here in the window. Zurich again said our money offered for Rodriguez was too low, so we bumped up to £2 million plus Vaste, which is still below his valuation of $3.7 million. Of course, he has a ton of potential as well. We then see that our bid for Hughes was rejected, so we bumped that up to $1.8 million from the $1.4 that we originally offered for him, and that's going to be all the business we were able to do before our FA Cup match against Bournemouth, taking on at the Boleyn at Upton Park. Obviously, Bournemouth a lower level team compared to us at the BPL level. So even with a replacement level side, you would think we should be able to do the job against them. So we do have a heavily rotated team. I decided to play a 4-1-2-2, but the wide version. So we have two wide midfielders, Malfitano, Jarvis, Morrison in the cam position. And I actually let Zarate get a run out in the striker position, which he's actually listed as opposed to what I've been using him as like an attacking midfielder, either on the left side or more centrally. So we actually give him a run out in his normal striker role where he was most dangerous for Vélez Sarsfield in Argentina before he came over to West Ham. So we then face Bournemouth here. You can see they're around a 4-1-4-1. Obviously a little bit more defensive, trying to control the play, especially against a team that arguably has a lot more quality than them. You can see I used the little yellow ball. I wasn't sure which ball to use, so I used the Mitra yellow ball. Obviously, the real FA Cup ball that I've seen so far in some of the early matches was pink. It was a pink version of the ball that they use in the Premier League. So I'll see if there is a pink ball on the catalog that I can bring in to actually use for future FA Cup matches. But we start off here with Bournemouth getting a couple early chances. Collins with a fantastic block there in the 35th minute. We then come forward here with Zarate playing the ball out wide to Morgan Malfitano. The French winger plays the ball into Andy Carroll. His header is straight at the Bournemouth keeper Campbell, and he does make a simple save. And I'll tell you what, Bournemouth did dominate this game for periods of time. They actually end up winning the possession value, and I actually thought they outplayed us. I thought it might have had to do with the fact that they have the 4-1-4-1 midfield playing, compared to us playing that 4-1-2-1-2 wide midfield diamond, which only left us with Ravel Morrison, who's very attack-minded, and Mark Noble, of course, in midfield, whereas they had three central midfielders playing against us. So really, it was almost a 3-on-1 battle, as you see Bournemouth miss an absolutely huge chance in the 45th minute there to try and take the lead. Luckily for us, they skied it over the top. Morrison then does well, skips around Cook, the defender, comes in, has a shot, and it's a good save by the keeper, and O'Carroll cleans the ball off the line, clears it away. It eventually falls back to Matthew Jarvis, and his shot as the keeper comes out on goes just wide the post. So a couple of really good chances there on the stroke of halftime. But I did think Bournemouth did dominate a little bit in midfield. That's really the issue we had, was we weren't able to get a ton of possession because of that. Ravel Morrison, though, here in the second half, starts off with a nice bit of skill. Cresswell then dives in on Richie, forcing him to lose possession. Jarvis is able to jump on the ball, plays it forward to Ravel Morrison. Beautiful little roulette there, using his skill, turns inside, plays a nice 1-2 with Aaron Cresswell, lays the ball off to him, plays it into Zarate. And that is just a beautiful bit of football right there. 1-0 to West Ham on a fantastically worked goal. Jarvis obviously does really well to play the ball to Ravel. He uses the skill he has, plays a nice little 1-2 with Cresswell, and this just floats the ball into Zarate, who gets off the back shoulder of his defender and heads it into the top corner of the net. It's a fantastically worked goal, and it's good to see Zarate, who has struggled a bit for us get back on the score sheet. Obviously, he had a good start to the season, scoring against Tottenham and whatnot. I think he has 3 goals in the Premier League right now, but he has struggled as of late, so it's good to see him get back on the score sheet and impose himself a little bit. We then come forward here. Ravel Morrison getting forward, plays the ball into Andy Carroll. He uses a little bit of nice touch to turn inside the Bournemouth defender and then just slots it past the on-rushing goalkeeper. So Andy Carroll with another goal. He's starting to find his form. Obviously, he did find it tough to get into the team with Sacco scoring upwards of double-digit goals, and Valencia has something around 8 or 9 in the Premier League already right now as well. So Carroll has found it tough to get into our Premier League lineup, but he's shown that when he does get in the lineup, he is also a viable option for us. So fantastic to see the big AC get on the score sheet for us. It's a fantastic goal there. It does really well. Nice ball played into him by Morrison on the counterattack, and then he simply puts it away. And that would actually be a huge goal for us, as you'll see Bournemouth literally on the stroke of extra time in about the 95th minute here. I had the entire team behind the ball. Take a look how many men we have behind the ball. We have 8, 9 men behind the ball here, and Bournemouth, I just couldn't get off him. And the issue you run into is the marking in FIFA right now with the defenders. They play man-to-man as opposed to just covering the center. And the issue, actually, you'll note on the goal here, you won't see it on the replay, is the fact that I have auto-switching on with my players, and the issue was they played a chip-through ball, even though it was a through ball that was only probably 10, 15 feet in front of him. Because it was a chip through ball, it auto-switched my player to Tompkins, and because I had the defender I was originally controlling charging forward at the ball, Tompkins charged forward when it switched me to him, which left that defender forward wide open. He was able to turn, slide in the back of the net because he was all alone in front of Jääskeläinen. So that's something I'll have to get rid of in my my settings for controllers. I'll have to change it back to no auto-switching at all and just make sure to control it myself, because I had it switch on just on was it air balls, so basically on long balls it'll auto switch, but basically I'll have to switch it back just so a situation like that doesn't arise and we can't keep the clean sheet. But you'll have that. You see then Zurich comes back to us after we do finalize that 2-1 victory and move forward in the Capital One Cup, or excuse me, the FA Cup. We're in the big dance now, the FA Cup. Obviously we come forward and we move forward in that. We then see that our bid for Rodriguez, they reject again, so I bumped up to $2.2 million in Vaste. We also get an offer from Aston Villa, who do have Brad Guzan, saying that they want to come in for Adrian. We reject that. We're not selling Adrian at all, and we don't go for anything there. We also see that Cardiff City look to have come in for Will Hughes and offered a much better bid than we're going to be able to. So obviously the relegated side from last year who looked to come back up, maybe taking Will Hughes away from us from Derby County. We then go in for an offer here. I decide right before I come out and sign Rodriguez, if that offer is accepted, to go for Tor from Besiktas for $2.7 million, and Vaste. If they do accept that, I would obviously take him instead. But at this point, I decide if Rodriguez is going to accept, look at his wage budget, he's going to fit into the team real well, have plenty of time to develop. So I offer him $6 million. For 4 years, and the role as a sporadic fourth-team player. Obviously, it's a step down from the amount that he's playing now, but obviously he's coming to a big club, and we may look to loan him out in the coming seasons. But we see he accepts that deal, so only $6 million a week on the wages, and we are going to eventually decide to accept this offer. So Francisco Rodriguez, our first new signing of this career mode, for what's about £3.5 million when you add in Ricardo Vaste's valuation. You can take a look at his stats. He's got plenty of green, definitely tons of room to grow. The nice thing is his versatility. He can play as a right mid, a left mid, central midfielder, as well as a cam, so we can slot him in all over the field, and he'll be able to do a job for us, which is fantastic to see, and definitely a good buy for the team going forward. He's actually the younger brother of Ricardo Rodriguez, the left back who plays for Wolfsburg. So hopefully he'll have the same class as his brother, who's one of the best left backs in the entire world at this point, and be able to do a job for us. He actually gets on the bench for this opening game as we take on Hull City, who are currently sitting in the relegation places with just 14 points. So they're definitely going to be playing with a sense of desperation. Obviously, they do have Mohamed Diame, formerly of West Ham. He's not even in the lineup for this game. I'm not sure if he's hurt or what, but he's not even in the lineup. I know he's still at Hull City, but he's not in the lineup for them right now. So obviously, they're going to be playing with a ton of desperation, needing a victory, and we're going to want a victory to stay in the places we're at, because the table is getting tighter, and I'll tell you what, a couple slip-ups by us here and there, and we may lose the precarious position that we're sitting in the Champions League places. We look fantastic right now, and hopefully we can keep that form up. We get an early chance here. Ball played in. It's flicked on past Sacco to Valencia, but he puts it straight down the throat of the goalkeeper McGregor, and we're not able to break the deadlock early on. But Ramirez then plays a beautiful... I'll tell you what, this first goal by Hull City was absolutely cultured. You can see the play if you rewind. It starts with Livermore, and he makes a fantastic darting run forward, gets in behind the defense, and it's fantastic by Ramirez to spot him with that through ball. I'll tell you what, nobody was marking him. It looked like Song maybe might have been the closest man originally, but no one was able to close him down, Song or Cresswell, and he's able to score a fantastic goal. Nothing Adrian could do there, and that's something we'll have to work on training, making sure we're marking players better, but it's a fantastic goal by Hull regardless. Cresswell then plays the ball in for Aaron Valencia, or Sacco, excuse me. It's a fantastic chance, but what a save by McGregor, who was on top of his game there. And then Alex Song picks the ball up in the 48th minute here, used a nice little back heel, and I'll tell you what, this is where you see Hull City, once they got that lead, so tough to break down, putting men behind the ball. Jenkinson trying to create some space, doesn't really find anywhere to go, eventually plays it back to Diafra Sacco, the center leads man, then plays the ball into Carl Jenkinson. He floats it back, and Stuart Downing, all he can do is try an audacious volley from 18 yards, but he just skies it over the goal, nothing going on there. And then Noble, ranging forward here, plays the ball to Enter Valencia, using his skill, just a little fake shot to get around defender, smashes a shot from 20 yards, and another fantastic save from McGregor, who was really at the top of his form to keep us from scoring the equalizer here. But Mark Noble then plays the ball and looking for Downing. It's floated away only as far as Alexander Song. He comes in, has a shot. It's a good save by McGregor and cleared away by the Hull City defense. So Hull doing all they can to keep out the pressure that we're currently applying. We then decide to make a couple substitutions. We bring on Andy Carroll, you can see him in the top left, and Ravel Morrison, because they did have fantastic performances for us in that FA Cup win over Bournemouth. So we decided to bring them on, hopefully in the chance of getting that equalizer that's eluded us right now. Ravel Morrison then trying to help us out with his first touch of the game, plays it forward to Stuart Downing. It's floated back to Morrison. He chips it in, looking for Alex Song. He heads it towards the back post, looking for Valencia, but Hull were able to clear the ball away. Then we get another corner here. Downing playing the ball in. A mess is created, but it falls to one of the men. You really wouldn't want to have a chance like that from 14 yards. James Tompkins, and all he can do is sky it over the top of the net, and we look so close to an equalizer, but another chance goes begging. Cresswell then plays the through ball for Valencia. He floats it in, finds Lord Andrew of Carroll. Fantastic goal. The big man, AC, with a fantastic goal, coming on as a substitute here and showing why he arguably deserves a place in this starting lineup, and showing how competitive things are when you really get down to the nitty-gritty to competing for places in our West Ham United team, because that is a fantastic goal by Carroll, and it shows what he can do for this team. He's such a threat in the air. It allows Valencia to kind of make runs wherever, because he can make runs off of Carroll. He can also get in wide areas and chip the ball into his strike partner, Andy Carroll, and that is a wonderful header. It's inch perfect. Nothing McGregor can do. He probably thinks it's going wide, and it just smashes in off the post and into the back of the net. So a fantastic goal for Carroll, and it is yet another goal for him in the BPL and another goal for him in consecutive appearances. It's fifth goal in the BPL. Of course, he did score in our FA Cup tie as well. But then Chiate, just minutes later, with a grave error, he tries to chip it out wide to Jenkinson, given away only as far as Ben Arfa. He gives it back to Sagbo, plays a 1-2 with Livermore. Adrian makes the save, but Ben Arfa on hand to smash in the winner. Nothing the defense could really do there. It's more of a fault on Adrian, and that's something that I see him do more and more that really upsets me with him in goal, is too often he'll make saves, and when he palms the ball, he doesn't get it out of a dangerous area. He just palms it right back into play. He palmed that one right at Ben Arfa, and that would be the deciding factor that forced us in to a 2-1 defeat to relegation-threatened Hull City. So a huge victory for them and a tough way for us to end this episode, but plenty of good things. Obviously a big FA Cup win, as well as our first actual signing of this career mode, and we'll have more in the transfer window coming in episode 15. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.